Hello everyone, my name is Kaustubh Shedjale. I'm an exercise specialist and founder and creator of Fitness Education Training, F.E.T. F.E.T is a fitness education and fitness training service provider. One of the missions at F.E.T is to spread exercise science awareness, and this video has been designed to implement that mission. Also, it is tailored to a personal trainer qualification. Today's topic is resistance training exercise physiology. The take-home message is how adaptation happens after going on resistance training. Now, for you to relate the sentence how adaptation happens, you have to first relate basic terminology, starting with resistance training, which is a mode of exercise aims to increase muscular strength, muscular endurance, and body image. So I will be talking about the body image over here. Adaptation means changes that happens in the body after undergoing a physical training. Physiology is the study of how body parts work, and exercise physiology is the study of, number one, how the body responds to an exercise session. Number two, what are the adaptation bodies undergo after having a physical training? And number three, the mechanism of that adaptation, that is how the adaptation happens. Now related to the take-home message, so I will be talking about the third part of exercise physiology, how the adaptation happens. And with that, I will be talking only about resistance training and not endurance training. And in resistance training, I will be talking only about the muscle hypertrophy. Again, for you to appreciate why I have maintained the limited information, try relate the systems in the human body. As we know, there are 11 systems in human body, just line up presented over here. So whenever you do exercise, all these systems are affected. It means they have a response, they have adaptation, and they have mechanism. So it's very obvious giving so many information in a presentation is not just worthless, but also not giving justice to this topic. Not to say the term exercise physiology itself is a subject that demands a semester-long duration to study. For this reason, I will be talking only about the muscular system, and in muscular system, I will be talking only about the muscle hypertrophy. Let's start with exercise physiology level 1. That is how the body responds to exercise. Nervous system responds by increasing the EMG amplitude and by increasing the motor unit recruitment. Muscular system responds by decreasing the concentration of creatine phosphate molecule, glycogen molecule, increasing the concentration of hydrogen ion inorganic phosphate and NH3 molecule, and absolutely no change in ATP molecule. Endocrine system responds by increasing epinephrine, cortisol, testosterone, and growth hormone concentration. Now let's go at level 2. What are the adaptations? In nervous system, the adaptations are EMG amplitude increases during muscle voluntary contraction, and there is an increase in the recruitment of motor unit and its firing rate. Skeletal system adaptation is there is an increase in bone density and there is an increase in the strength of the connective tissue. With respect to muscle system, the adaptations are increase in the enzyme concentration, increase in the molecule concentration, and increase in the muscle mass itself. Now let's go one step deeper, how this adaptation happens. The fundamental information to understand the mechanism of adaptation is this adaptation happens because there is increase in the amount of specific protein. So all the adaptation that has been mentioned with respect to muscular system, either that includes increasing the amount of molecules, that is ATP and PC, increasing the amount of enzyme, that is phosphogen enzyme or glycogen enzyme, or increasing the muscle size itself. All this happens because there is increase in the synthesis of a specific protein. Now, how this happens? This is presented by this diagram. Let me just add an exercise over here. So whenever you start doing exercise, you introduce stress into the muscle system. What is stress? It is disturbance to homeostasis. What is homeostasis? It is work the body has to do to maintain a stable condition in each system. So it's obvious when you do exercise, you actually disturb the homeostasis of every system. So how body responds to that? It responds by turning on something called as cell signaling. What is cell signaling? It is ability of the cell to tell each other what action they have to do to restore the disturbed condition within the system. When that is turned on, it turns on a specific genes. What is genes? The genes is a location in DNA molecule which has information about the protein synthesis. As we know, proteins are made up of different amino acids. So it is the combination of that amino acid that decide ultimately what protein is being synthesized. So when a gene is activated, this turns on the next step of protein synthesis, which is transcription and translation, which is nothing but converting the information on DNA into mRNA and from mRNA to becoming a real protein. Now these are the basic terms, basic steps that has to be followed whenever protein synthesis happens. But the real question is, how do the muscle system know which genes to activate? That is answered by activating a specific signals. And how do you know which specific signal to get to turn on? That depends upon the type of stress given. For that reason, the stress given by resistance training and the stress given by endurance trainings are different, which leads to the different adaptation. As I mentioned, I'll be talking only about the resistance training. So when you do resistance training, that is when you do exercise, you introduce stress. You disturb the homeostasis of muscle system. In response to that, the muscle system turns on specific signals. Now let me introduce, these signals are primary signals and secondary signals. Now with respect to muscle hypertrophy, the signals that are activated is mechanoreceptors, which is the primary signal. Once that is activated, this activates the second cell signaling molecule, which is mTOR, which is mammalian target of rapamycin. When this secondary signal is activated, this turns on the next step of protein synthesis. Now, with respect to muscle hypertrophy, the protein synthesis that is required is actin and myosin. And once that is activated, the transcription and translation happens, and ultimately these proteins are synthesized, and thereby the muscle size is increased, which is nothing but the muscle hypertrophy. To summarize, exercise physiology is viewed at three levels. Number one, systemic response to exercise. Number two, adaptation that happens at each system. And number three, mechanism of that system. With respect to muscle hypertrophy, this adaptation happens because the primary and the secondary signaling molecules, that is mechanoreceptors and mTOR, it specifically activates the protein synthesis of actin and myosins, leading to hypertrophy. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any queries regarding this presentation or exercise physiology or exercise science, you can contact me at F.E.T page by clicking to the link given on this slide. Thank you so much.